Yeah, welcome in everybody. Sorry for the delays. As Mark just told you, we are live, facing some technical difficulties. But Mark, it happens, doesn't it? It happens to the best of us.
Well, it does happen. Anytime you got me doing anything technical, it'll happen for sure.
All right. So anyway, we are here. We are live. I hope everybody didn't give up on us. Come on back in, y'all. We're here, and we're going to be talking some high school sports for you, with you for the next hour and a half. Guys, you know the drill. Or if you're new to the show, let me tell you what you do. Hey, we're not going to do all the talking. You guys comment. Let us know what you want to talk about, what's on your mind. And Mark and I will constantly be checking comments. And I'm on Facebook. Okay. I'm going to ask Mark to kind of help me out because Mark has the master list of messages coming in from all of our platforms. So if I don't respond to you, maybe on X or YouTube, maybe come over to Facebook if you can and comment, or just send your comment and Mark will pick them up on whatever platform you're on. So together we'll tag team it, guys, and we'll make it happen. But we do want to hear your comments. We do want to chat with you. Your comments, suggestions, what's on your mind is as important as what we're talking about, right, Mark?
That is, yes, for sure. And listen, I'll do the best I can with these comments. I try to monitor over here, but hey, if we miss you, doesn't mean we're not thinking about you.
Good point, Mark. Very good point. Just listen, I've said that before. Keep coming back to me. If you want to come over to Facebook, hit me up again. Would love to chat with you. Want to make sure that we get everybody's comments. We love y'all, man, and you're the reason we do this show. So, all right, here we go. Going to start things off. Jonathan James Gibson says, hello again. There's a song about that, but I'll spare everybody. We got Jim Blair checking out the show. And of course, Jim Blair is a big fan of those Packers. You know, Mark, the thing in Colquitt County, they have their own speech. I won't say speech betterment, but it's a unique speech language in Colquitt County. And there's one characteristic you can always tell about people from Moultrie. Do you know what it is?
I do not
They drop their R's.
drop their arms. Phil, how much research did you do on that?
Listen, over the years, I just noticed Jim Tunna, who owns Cruise in 94, and along with Durwood Dominy, or needless to remember, I didn't say Durwood, I said Durwood. Those guys, I started noticing they never pronounce their R's. And more and more people I talk to out of Moultrie, I noticed they don't pronounce their R's. And it's a language all unique to Moultrie. Guys, confirm this for me, Jim Blair and some of the other folks in Moultrie. Hey, and there's nothing wrong with it. I love it. I think it's pretty cool, makes you guys unique. But am I off base, or is there something to that, Jim Blair and guys over in Colquitt County?
Well, they do a great job calling
They do
Packer
that.
ball games.
They sure
Get a
do.
chance, make sure to tune in.
They sure do. I tell you, Mark, in our ITG next games of the week, everywhere that we have wound up where Jim Turner and Durwood Dominy have been, they are always so kind and invite me over to chat with them like at halftime. And I appreciate those guys. You're right, Mark. They do an excellent job of covering the Packers. But anyway, just want to salute Jim Tunna and Durwood Dominy, the
Yeah, and
the
they've been at it
Moultrie
for a
Packers.
while too.
Mark, they probably have been at it about as long as anybody in this state when it comes to play-by-play teams, right?
I agree. If not, they're close.
All right, we got Tim Thompson who's checking out the show. Mark, he says go Swainsboro. Swainsboro had a big win over Appling County this past week. We got our guy Juan Simo Villalobos checking in. Says, what's up, Phil and Mark? Hope all is well. Big game this week. Got Carrollton at Gainesville. Go Big Red, of course. So, Mark, that's one of the many games we've got coming up this week that we're going to talk about. Mark, you pointed out on Friday night show, not too many big games across the state last Friday night, but that's not going to be the case this week, Mark. We got quite a few big contests coming up.
Yeah, this Friday night's going to be exciting. This past Friday, look, it's always fun on Friday night, but as you mentioned, not as many big games, and Speaking of the Carrollton Gainesville game, I happen to have my Red Elephant shirt on here. So,
Oh, I saw.
I
Yes,
mean, I
that you
didn't
do.
realize that. Got my Red Elephant shirt on, chasing Beth. You know, the Red
There you
Elephants
go.
are chasing Beth, and they will be chasing Carrollton as best they can Friday night.
But Mark, that was, of course, as you know, that was Josh Niblett's rallying cry after last year's 7-4 season, which for some teams that may be acceptable, but for Coach Niblett in Gainesville, it was not. Mark, I think by far his worst finish since he took over 3 years ago as head coach of the Red Elephant. So that was kind of his rallying cry. I remember talking to him, after the season was over, and he kept saying, "What's on the front of your shirt?"
And you can guarantee that they'll be prepared going into that game. I mean, look, that's a great uh, game between 5A and 6A. Glad that they played a game. Hats off to both programs to give us that good game. So, look, anything can happen. I do think Gainesville is on. They got a revenge tour going this year.
No doubt. They certainly do, Mark, and I'm right there with you. So we're going to see how things go. That's one of the big games, like I talked about. We've also got another big one that's going to be taking place in the southern part of the state, Mark, as Colquitt County travels to Leesburg to take on Dean Fabrizio's Lee County Trojans. I got to be honest with you. I think that's a coin flip game.
I agree. Another great game between 5 and 6A. Hats off to both those coaches for playing that game. It's a great game for South Georgia. You can rest assured. Now, that game's in Lee County, correct, Phil?
It is, yes.
Yeah, the Packer fans will travel. Lee County will be rocking Friday night. Again, this Friday's gonna be very exciting.
All right, we got Reggie checking in from Camden County. By the way, Camden County, Mark, sneaking in to this week's ITG Next Top 10. They debut in the top 10 at number 10. So they are able to get in after Norcross was defeated by Walton. So Norcross bows out of the top 10. Of course, Class 6A I'm talking about. And now that gives us, let's see, Colquitt, Lowndes, Valdosta, now Camden, 4 teams in the Class 6A top 10 hail from Region 1 6A.
No surprise. Year in, year
Yeah,
out. We talk about it all the time. Region 1 6A. Region 1 from South Georgia is as good as it gets. So good for Camden County. Uh, I don't think we really know what Camden's got yet, but we
I
know
agree.
that that's a great community for high school football. They produce a lot of athletes in Camden. One school in that county, another exciting place to watch a game.
Yep.
Who do they have Friday, Phil? Do you know?
Yeah, I think they're off.
Are
And
they
I'm
off?
going to ask, I think so. I'm going to ask Reggie to confirm that for me because, Mark, I think, if I'm not mistaken, most everybody is going to, I think they're going to be wrapping up their non region schedules if they haven't already and get ready for the region portion of the schedules. I'll double check that, but I know we got to be coming up pretty close to that. So Reggie, let me know who Camden's got this week if they are not off this week. So by the way,
Also, Phil,
Reggie's, yeah,
I want to mention, and I think he had reached out to us. Go Dog 65. Good afternoon, fellas. That is Richie checking in. I believe he's a Worth County alumni. How about Worth County being ranked number one?
Absolutely, Richie. Listen, buddy, I think you were one that kind of slipped through the cracks, my man. So we apologize for that. Glad that we've got you on this week. I promise. I responded to him and Richie and told him that we'd be sure to get him this week. So Mark, good catch on Richie's comment. And Richie, we appreciate you, buddy, and thanks for taking the time to reach out to us on our information line. And hey, listen, man, we won't let it happen again. We hope that you will be a part, as we do everybody watching tonight, guys. We love y'all being a part of our shows. I say shows because Mark and I do this on Friday night, our scoreboard show. We have a lot of fun with that. And then, of course, on Monday, we do the hour and a half for you guys up until 7 o'clock. So We appreciate you guys checking in, spending time with us. Really do.
Well, the Rams are rolling. Glad to see them ranked number one. I do have me a Rams hat. I got to make sure I'm representing that.
Now, when you say number one, now what do you mean, Mark?
Well, they're number one in several polls, man. Come on, Rams number one in several polls. What are they in your poll, Phil?
They're number two, but now there's a
What?
reason for that. Yeah. So listen,
Okay.
I talked to Jeff Hammond this morning, and see, listen, Coach Hammond knows. Hey, look, polls. You can rank me number one or number two. I'd rather be number two. So it's
Yeah,
kind of a bid. It's got listen, but I told Coach Hammond, look, they could easily be number one. What matters is where they wind up at the end of the season. He agreed with that. But yeah, it's tight right now. I've had them at number two all season long. But Worth County certainly went over to Brooks County and got the job done this past Friday night. I tell you, they are looking really good. Everybody talks about their offense, Mark, but Worth County's defense is really coming up big this year.
Worth County's got a great team. I believe this could be the year.
It might be. They came within an eyelash last year. They had Fitzgerald on the ropes in the, what was it, the quarterfinals, and they let it get away. They had a 2-touchdown lead late in that game and just ran out of gas, according to Coach Hammond. But, man, what a great job, Mark, he has done since arriving in Sylvester.
He has. They were running up and down the field in that Fitzgerald Worth County game. I tell you what, Phil, you keep them ranked at number two, and I believe they'll win this. I believe they'll win it all. So I don't want you to change. Even
All
if
right.
number two, even if number one loses and Worth County wins, you just keep them at number two so they can keep going. I mean, we don't want to jinx anything.
No need to upset the apple cart, right? We
Look,
had a pretty good
look,
laugh
it has
about
been a
that.
while for Worth County. It really has. It's nice to see them doing well.
Yeah. So Toombs County in Class 2 or Class A Division 1, the defending state champion. You know how I am about state champions, defending state champions. I think it takes a lot to knock them off. But anyway, got a long way to go. Both those teams certainly. Who knows? I'm not sure how the brackets are set up, but we could see both those teams battling it out when it's all said and done in the Class A Division 1 state playoffs. But Mark, let's roll down the line here. We got Diocese TG. Milton is in the house. Big game for us this week against one of the best defensive lines in the state in Blessed Trinity. Wow, no kidding. This is one of my pick six games. Every one of my pick six games, Mark, are toss-ups. This is one of them, Diocese. And again, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Milton, Blessed Trinity. Milton won this game, I think 28-14 last year, but Blessed Trinity indeed has one of the best defensive lines in the state. They are loaded, and I tell you, this is going to be a heck of a football game.
Well, Phil, we all know how you're going to pick that game.
How's
We
that,
all know
Mark?
that. We all know you're going to pick that game. Come on now.
Well, yeah, listen, I'll tell you this. I am picking Milton. It's at home, and I think home field advantage means anywhere from 3 to 7 points. So there you go. All
Okay.
right, Mark, let's see who else. Mark, who else we got in the house? I see Nathan Lincoln from a big Lowndes High Vikings fan is checking in. Nathan Lincoln says, Lowndes is in the house, guys. Go Vikings.
Well, Lowndes had an easy time of it last week.
Mark, and that was a little surprising. Not that they won, because I thought they would win, but, Manatee, fairly good team. They had not lost on the year. They have now. But,
Yeah,
they had a pretty good quarterback.
Bosco beat Manatee.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. They were beating them by 40 points at halftime.
So, yeah, Lowndes takes care of business. Listen, Lowndes.
Yeah.
Lowndes is taking care of business. Lowndes, of course, is one of our top 10 teams in Class 6A. Grayson remains on the top. Mark, let's talk about Grayson real quick. Grayson got it done for playing the third consecutive out-of-state opponent. This time it was Mallard Creek from North Carolina, and Grayson with no Travis Burgess, continuing to roll right along. They haven't missed a beat. Coach Brian DeBerry, the athletic director, Mark, told us that, hey, we don't expect to lose anything. We're going to continue to do what we've done. And so far, by golly, he's been exactly right.
I see Grayson. Again, as I mentioned, they're going to be a tough out. I've had an opportunity. I say it every time we have a show. They got some great looking athletes, and they are certainly more than one person. Although losing Travis Burgess is a big loss because he's a fine young man, a great leader. So losing him, yes, that's a setback. But they have a lot of athletes, and evidently the quarterback that is in has really stepped up, and they handled Mallard Creek. And Phil, we were talking. Rayburn Gap went up to Maslin and beat Maslin, I believe, pretty handily. Is that correct?
They
And,
did. Yeah.
so Grayson beat them. I think again, Grayson's going to be a tough out.
Agree. I agree 100%. Boy, it's going to be a lot of fun watching that classification as we go down the stretch. Kavion Patrick is a big Valdosta fan. Says Valdosta here, checking in. Kavion, thanks so much for checking out the show. Really liking what your Wildcats are doing. Valdosta playing a good, tough out-of-state team in Tampa Jesuit, Mark. And Valdosta was behind in this game. Mark, you actually had this on in real time during our show Friday night.
Yeah, I thought Valdosta looked really good. I did not watch the first half, but I did watch most of the second half. And as you mentioned, Jesuit had some good looking kids, good looking athletes. That game was not a walkover. Valdosta was moving the ball on them. I mean, they were just lining up and running it at them and having success doing it. They threw it a few times. Valdosta looked really good. Their offense was up tempo. So again, I think the South Georgia teams are in great position. The Wintersville game on Halloween, boy, what a game that's going to be.
You're not kidding right
And what if
now in our
and what if both those teams are undefeated? Lowndes
yeah,
Valdosta undefeated on Halloween night. Now, a lot of things have to happen.
absolutely.
I realize that, but I'm sure there'll be something riding on that game either way.
Yeah, I was going to say Valdosta and Lowndes both right now are neck and neck in our Class 6A top 10. You've got Lowndes right just ahead of Valdosta. Lowndes in the number 5 spot. Lowndes in the number 5 spot. Valdosta number 6. So, Mark, this could be a big game in a lot of ways. If they're undefeated, it could be a battle for the region top spot. And, of course, it could be moving up another notch or two in the ITG Next top 10.
Yeah, and of course, I'm sure Cochran and Camden and Tiff don't want to have something to say about that as we get into region play, but who knows? Wintersville, such a special game.
It really is. Guys, I was talking about the ITG Next Top 10. I want to remind y'all that we do our own rankings, and we got those things. We're going to try to get those things out pretty quickly following our Friday night games. And Mark, I found out something we're really shooting for, and hopefully the fans will enjoy that.
They will. I see Rodriguez Upshaw. Hello, guys. Big Red checking in. Nice shirt, Mark. Yeah, I got the Chasing Best shirt on because we know Coach Niblett is always chasing best.
Oh, Dias is
Yeah.
TG. Phil's a smart man. I try to be, man. I try to be. Luke Nelson is in the house. Big Buford has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. Let's roll out the red carpet for Luke Nelson. And by the way, guys, I want y'all to join me in wishing Luke Nelson and his better half, much better half, by the way, a happy anniversary. Happy anniversary to you, Luke, and Mrs. Nelson. You did good there, my brother. You did really good there, and I know you guys are enjoying what Buford has got going on right now. Luke's son, Kanan, is one of the top players on that defense for Buford. They come away with a big win this weekend, Mark, over Roswell. So big win over a good Roswell team.
Buford as great athletes. It'll be fun to see how this season plays out. I think it'd be too much to ask for Buford and Grayson to play each other in the regular season, so that won't happen. But yeah, Buford looked really good. I mean, look, we know Milton has a good team. I think we all believe Milton's maybe a little better than we thought they would be, having lost so many players. But Buford had a big game this past Friday.
Yeah. Jerry Harrison, not to be confused with Jerry Harrison of the of Talking Heads, but Jerry Harrison checking in. He's a regular here on the show. Jerry, we appreciate you. Jerry, representing Monroe area. He's Monroe area's #1 fan. And Jerry, I promise you, I have not forgotten about your Monroe area team. They were one of my considerations this week to be ranked. I know they're undefeated, but right now they're just on the outside looking in. But another victory is going to get them into the top 10, my man. So, no, I haven't forgot about Monroe area, Jerry. Every time I see them, I think about you, my man. But hey, continue to keep them in the front of my mind and be on the lookout for Monroe area cracking through the top 10, Mark.
Well, Phil, you never know. I'm sure he's going to hold you to that now. Monroe area gets through on Friday. We got to crack this top 10.
Absolutely. Hey, once I put it out there, it's out there forever, right? What they say, the internet lives forever.
That's right. It does. They can go find this show.
Dwayne Little is checking in from Brooks County. Again, guys, keep those comments coming. We'll try to get everybody. Adam Estes, Mark, I'm going to pose this to you, and we can talk about this. Adam Estes wants to know, he's a big Tift County fan. Adam wants to know, Mark, what are your thoughts on the Tift at Houston County game? Can we play with them? Adam, I think so. I'll let Mark tackle that as well.
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, I don't. I think this is going to be a good test for him. But Tiff County has looked good this year. Is that's at Houston County?
Yeah, that's going to be up at Veterans Memorial.
Yeah, that'll be a great road game for them. Another,
Freedom Field, sorry.
yeah, another 6A 5A matchup. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think they can play with them. But look, we know Coach Edwards, man. He'll get after it now. For sure. So Tiff will need to go and be ready to play because they will get after it, especially up there. But I think we'll find out a lot more about Tiff after Friday night.
Oscar Miles is checking out the show. Oscar Miles says Carver Columbus is in the house. Oscar's son, KJ, a North Carolina commit, is checking us out. Oscar, what's going on, my man? Boy, ain't no doubt about what you guys are doing and where y'all are ranked. I can tell you that, man. Ain't no
Yeah,
suspense about Carver Columbus, Mark.
yeah, Phil, you don't have them ranked number two, do you?
I knew I was coming.
Yeah, I mean Carver Columbus loaded, done a great
No,
job.
no, no.
Uh, Jarvis Jones is not going to miss a beat over there. What a great team that he has. I mean, boy, they're special.
They really are. Andrew Watkins is keeping us up to date on Darty High. Says Darty's got a road trip to the Cougar Den Friday night. I'm assuming that's Crisp County. There's two up and coming teams still battling this year, looking for some respect. But I tell you, that's going to be one to keep an eye on. Andrew Darty making the road trip over to Cordier to take on Crisp County.
Yeah, Chris County, they struggled a little bit so far this year. We know
Yeah,
that,
Justin Newman. Yep.
yeah,
Go ahead.
historically, again, you coach. Historically, there's been some great athletes come out of Chris County.
There really have been. Boy, and listen, some great coaches, have come through there.
That's exactly right. Also, your buddy Stephen K. Williams checking in from Frozen Nation in Leesburg. I'm sure he's looking forward to Cockwood making that trip over there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Stephen K. Wynn, good friend of the of ITG Next, and yours truly. And Stephen and I talk a lot. And I tell you, he was keeping me up to date. Stephen was really impressed with Tift County's effort at Lee County. And I tell you, I talked with Dean Fabrizio yesterday, about the matchup between him and Colquitt County. And I've said this before, guys. Coach Dean Fabrizio, he'll tell me straight up. Okay, he'll tell me if he thinks his team is got a decided advantage or a decided disadvantage. Okay. And right now, Coach Fabrizio, when I asked him yesterday, he said, Phil, I just don't know. He said, we're inexperienced and I just don't know enough about our team. And of course, they've kind of been up and down. They played that first half against Hateville Charter, didn't score. And then they come out in one half of football and they put up, 28 points, I think it was, in just two quarters. So it's kind of hard to tell what kind of team coach has got right now. Again, there is a lot of youth and inexperience, but I'll tell you what, they're not short on talent. Man, that is a talented football team. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. This may go the way of Lee County just because, again, of the home field advantage. Other than that, this is another coin toss game, guys.
Well, Colquitt's got something to prove. They want to get back on track after that loss at North Gwinnett. So, uh, the Packers will be ready to play.
Oh, listen, that's one thing. And Mark, here's the thing about it. Sean Calhoun, and we'll talk to him tomorrow on the Colquitt County Coaches Show, one of the 6 coaches shows that I'm thankful to host. But Mark, Sean Calhoun in Colquitt County went to Swanee 2 weeks ago, and things did not go well. They lose 21-7 to a good North Gwinnett team. Not great, but they're a good team. I tell you, North Gwinnett is surprising too. They lost a lot of guys in this offseason. They come out, lost their opening game. I believe it was to Douglas County, but now they have since rebounded as North Gwinnett. And so they're going to be a team to keep an eye on. Now, having said that, Colquitt County was not able to get anything going against that steel curtain defense of North Gwinnett, only putting up 7 points. So I say all that to say Colquitt County, you mentioned revenge tour, revenge season, talking about Gainesville and Carrollton earlier. This might be one of these type games that Colquitt and Sean Calhoun says, hey, we need this one. We need to get this one back. We're upset. We're mad. We got beat a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to go take it out, try to take all our frustrations out up at Leesburg. Not an easy. That's easier said than done, but we're going to see. I look for Colquitt County to be very fired up and prepared for that game, Mark.
They want to get back on the winning track.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep losing. So, look for them, I think, to be prepared and play a great game. Lee County will be rocking, so that's a tough place to play. Coach Breeze has done a great job, but I believe Colquitt County will certainly be ready to play. I know we have Felix Antonia Hughes, number 6, Tyler Hughes at William and Mary from Marietta, Georgia. He is fired. Now, the reason that caught my eye, Phil, is my wife graduated from William and Mary. I'm going to have to let her know about this guy.
How about that?
Yeah, we may tune in and watch William and Mary now.
How about that? Gives you
Why
another
not?
reason, right?
That's right.
All right. So let's see. We got Amanda Lynn representing Thomas County Central. Amanda Lynn says Thomas County Central is in the house. Okay. So yeah, I see your comment now from Felix. Felix Antonia Hughes about Tyler Hughes. How about that?
We'll be checking him out for sure. Playing for the tribe at William and Mary. And look, I want to make sure I get this in. So we all know anything can happen. I'm switching gears a little bit, Phil. Like we mentioned, some teams having some losses here. Like you look at the college level, Notre Dame got beat by Northern Illinois last year, ended up playing in a national championship game. And I say all this, do we have any Gator fans in the chat? I got
Oh,
to take a little dig here. They got beat by South Florida. Will they rebound? They are going into, boy, they have a crazy tough schedule starting next week. Think it may be a tough road for the Gators. What do you think?
yeah. Yeah. There's already talk about, gosh, who's the coach over there at Florida?
Napier.
Napier, that's right. Coach
Yeah.
Napier's brother is the coach over at LaGrange. But anyway, yeah, Billy Napier having a tough go of it this year at Florida. They're already talking about buyouts. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good day or a good finish for Florida, Mark.
Well, you got to let it play out. I don't know.
True.
How long has he
Yeah.
been there?
What, 3 years, I
Has it
believe?
been
Somebody
3
help me
years?
out
I
on
don't
that.
know. I think you got to give people at a minimum 3 years.
I
We'll
agree.
see how it goes. But yeah, it's tough for those Gators, man. That's a tough loss, and they paid them $500,000 to come to the swamp.
More, I tell you, Mark. Now that normally, if you're paying somebody $500,000, you're paying them to come in, bend over. Thank you very much. We'll take our butt whipping and we'll get out of here with our big check. But Mark, they came in, beat Florida, still got the half a meal, and said thank you very much on the way out the door.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But again, as I mentioned, Notre Dame got beat by Northern Illinois last year.
Yeah,
They end
yeah.
up putting it back together. Now, I'm not saying Florida's Notre Dame, which, by the way, I'm not a big Notre Dame fan. I got to be honest with you. Hey,
Me
I'm a
neither.
Bulldog fan, and I don't think we know what we have, but we're going to find out Saturday playing Tennessee. I think Georgia looked a little suspect in the game Saturday. Of course, there was a weather delay, and that can get you out of sync. But who knows what will happen? I think it's the same thing at high school. I love it that these teams are playing these competitive non-classification, non-region games. Lets us, the spectators, have some fun. Plus, it'll prepare them. Sometimes a loss can be good.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I want to ask, what do you guys think about a couple of games I'm looking at? So, what do you guys think about the Tiff County Houston County game? Tiff County has enjoyed a good season. They played Lee County tough. They did come out on the wrong end, but is Lee County going to be able to have that same kind of game? Somebody asked this earlier. Will we be able to hang with Houston County? I want to take kind of an informal poll here on the show, guys. Tiff County versus Houston County. What you got, guys? Can Tiff County hang with them? Will they not hang with them? What do you guys think? Can they actually beat Houston County? Would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. And that's just one of the many games coming around this weekend. Lyric Baker, Phil, you might you might be the Paul Feinbaum, the nice version of the ITG ratings. Hate it or love it, but usually, what's coming here? Somehow works out when the dust clears. Okay, Lyric, who you a fan of, man? Yeah, help me out. I forget, my
Well, I
brother.
think Larry says too. I'm just going to say it, but it might be a buyout between Bama and Florida this year. He may be on to something. Those Crimson Tide people aren't accustomed to losing.
Jose Padilla, Phil, you praising Lee County. Phil, if Central beats them, you better be wearing that polo the following Monday. Yeah, my buddy Jose Padilla sent me some Lee County swag. I'm sorry, Thomas County Central swag. My bad. And love the polo pullover. Thank you for that, Jose. Hey, man, absolutely, you got it. Listen, that's that region battle, Mark. Let's talk about that. We've had fun and talking about these non-region games so far. But Mark, we're on the cusp of region play starting. And it's going to be so much fun watching Region 1 6A, Region 2 5A. That's Region 2 5A is Lee County, Thomasville, Coffee. Um, I said Thomas County Central. Lee County's Thomas County Central, Coffee, Houston County. Who else we got? I'm leaving somebody out. Um, but that region is going to be so much fun. I mean, Region 168. I don't know right now, to be honest with you, Mark. And I love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear our viewers' thoughts. Right now, 1-6A is as wide open, Mark, as it's ever been. I mean, I don't think there's one runaway team with it. You've got Camden County. Okay, they've won every game, but uh, some people over there are telling me, hey, we really haven't played anybody, and we're nowhere near the top of the region right now. And again, that comes from some diehard Camden fans. You and Reggie, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Reggie's son, Will, is the quarterback for the team, and he certainly has done his part so far this year. We got Colquitt County, Mark. I mean, they've looked good, but again, nothing like Packer teams of the past. Tift County's playing well. Valdosta really is looking good. They may be the team right now, Mark, as we approach the halfway point. Lowndes is looking good. And listen, you can't forget about Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill is over there, stuck out over there on the coast. Nobody talks about them. Nobody gives them any respect. That happened last year, and they come up and beat Valdosta. Mark, I want to get your take. I've just kind of gone through the cliff notes of 1-6A, and as you can tell, I have no idea who really the top team is in that region.
Well, I don't think anybody does at this point, Phil. I think you can kind of sum it up if you're looking at 6A and 5A. In 6A, you got up north, you got Buford, Grayson, and I'll throw Carrollton in there. Douglas County may rebound. You got them, and then you got 6A down here. And so that's, 8 teams. I think that things could get really interesting when the playoffs start. And just like we said
Yeah.
in 5A, you got Gainesville, you got Milton, and
Yep.
then you got Region 1 5A down here.
Yeah. So, Mark, that region you mentioned, 7-5A, you've got Gainesville, you've got Milton, you've got Roswell, Chattahoochee. I'm trying to think who else is in there, but anyway, so yeah, 5A, I think from top to bottom, may be the most competitive classification in the state. But what do you guys think? These regions we talked about, and I want to kind of focus on 1-6A right now. Who are the teams in 1-6A, region 1-6A? Valdosta, Lowndes, Tift, Colquitt, Richmond Hill. Is that everybody? Oh, there's one more. Who am I missing? Well, I'm one short on every region today.
Oh, Phil,
Val-
it's the
Val-
story of my life.
Valdosta,
You got
Valdosta,
Valdosta,
Lowndes,
Lowndes, Cockwood, Camden, Richmond Hill,
and Tift County. There we go.
Tiff
Six
County.
teams.
There you go.
Yeah. So who do you think, guys? Let me put it this way: who's the 4 playoff teams? And come on, let's don't go chalk. Mix it up a little bit. Who's going to be the team nobody sees coming? I think Tift County is a pretty sure bet to make the postseason. That would mean getting one of those 4 spots. But what do you guys think? 1-6A, nobody really is head and shoulders above the other team. I like how Valdosta looks so far. Lowndes looks good so far. Everybody looks good. But I'm not saying that they are looking good enough to be head and shoulders above everyone else, if that makes any sense.
Well, Phil, you got Tiff County being the 1 seed.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, all right. So you saying you are predicting Tiff to sneak in the playoffs this
Yes,
year?
I do. I really do.
Okay,
I think they're going to make. I
all
think they're
right.
going to be one of the 4 teams. Yep, sure do. I sure do.
Well, Phil, I wish Tiff County could have played Worth County this year. I mean, you could
You
have had
know,
fun with that.
yep.
Hey, who knows, right? The
Mark, they used
depth
to
would
play
come
each
into
other all the
play. I
time.
mean, yeah, oh, always. I used to be a rival.
Yes, I'd like to see those. Those games like that. Tift Worth, Tift versus Cook, and I'm just using Tift as an example, but I like any of these neighborly games, if you will, regardless of classification. Mark,
Yeah, these border wars are always a lot of fun. Good for the
there you
game
go,
too,
Border
because
Wars.
bring out a lot of fans.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We
Stephen K.
got
Wynn's got a question for us, Mark.
okay. I don't see it on
Stephen
here.
K. Wynn says, "How will Houston County?" Can you see his comment, Mark?
I think it's gone past. I think I saw it a minute ago.
Okay, I got it. How will Houston County rebound after the close game with Perry? If Tiff plays like they did for 4 quarters against Lee County, uh, they will give Houston County a game. I think that's a fair question. Um, yeah, Houston County gets the close win over Perry. But I tell you, a lot of people love to make a lot out of Hoco's offense. Remember, they lose AJ Hill at quarterback. Okay, everybody was wondering, my gosh, you lost one of the best quarterbacks, a 4-year starter at that. So what are you going to do now? Well, they've got this youngster, Ryan Maxwell, who's playing pretty well. I'll put it this way: he's not losing games for them. He's not throwing a bunch of interceptions, but he's doing just enough to lead their offense. But I tell you, they're getting solid play from their defense. Probably got one of the best safeties in the state, probably in the nation. But would love to hear y'all's thoughts on. I think Houston County is the team to watch for sure.
That'll be a good game for both those teams. I wonder if the TIFF fans will travel to that game. It's not so far away.
Mark, that's a good question. I saw a picture, and I'm going to get Adam Hips and Adam Estes, Ren Estes, some of the other Tiff County folks up there to give me a hand here. And Adam, I got your question here. I see you would put Lowndes of Valdosta at the moment. I got you. Stephen Tate, coming to you in a minute. But Mark, I saw a photo that someone took at the Tiff County game. And I'm going to tell you, you had the Tiff County crowd in the background, and that home side it had a lot of people. Now, I'm not saying it was a sellout. Not going to get carried away, but they've had attendance problems at Tiff County, and they need to get fannies back in the seats, and I think they already are. Jeff Littleton, that's another big plus for that program, getting people back in the seats. Because Mark, that home attendance for Tiff County the last 2 or 3 years has been abysmal, and they'll be the first ones to tell you that. But listen, if you win, they will come, and that's exactly what's happened in Tiff County. But they had a huge crowd, it looked like, Friday night for that home game.
Well,
That's
I'm
about the
going
win
back
against
now
Bainbridge.
to Tiff County's put out some good football players. Rashard Bateman, when he was
Yep,
there, he's playing for Baltimore now. Is that the
yep.
last, time that they really have some good momentum going? Is when Rashard Bateman was there?
Gosh, that's a good question.
I think so.
Probably so. Yeah, probably so. Look, Mark, you remember the timeline? It was Ashley Anders was the head coach, and he did a good job.
Yes, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, and Ashley, Coach Anders leaves. I think that's when he went to take over the defensive coordinator position at Lowndes. But when Ashley Anders left, boy, the program just kind of took a nosedive. And anyway, it hasn't really been back up since then. However, Coach Jeff Littleton is doing a great job getting that program back. But anyway, would love to hear a take on the home attendance for Tiff County last week against Bainbridge.
Well, hopefully those fans will go support the team. It's always great to see
Yeah,
a lot of fans out supporting the kids. That's a big part of Friday night. But you're talking about drought. Go back to my Worth County Rams. I don't think they've really done too much since Milton Miller left, and it's been, gosh, what, 25 years ago? Long
yeah,
time.
yeah. I tell you this, it could be changing this year with Coach Hammond. Coach Hammond is an offensive guru, really. It was Coach Jeff Hammond who ran a lot of Rush Probst offenses. Him and Rush Probst worked closely together on that offense. Both really good offensive minds, but a lot of people don't know that about Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, great guy. And also, I want to point out, Worth County, they're playing with homegrown kids, as is pretty much all these single A, 2A, 3A teams. There's not a lot of moving around. I mean, hey, I
Great
like
point, Mark.
Sylvester, but everybody's not moving to Sylvester.
It's a great, Mark. It's a great point. It really is, and I love it when we were able to point that out with certain teams, Mark. That's an excellent point. I love that. That's where to me that's the true meaning of high school football. It's my community against your community.
That's right. And Go Dog 65 just pointed out Coach Littleton is another Worth County Rams alum. So, he played back in the day when Worth County had something going on.
Mark, I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, sure is.
All right, Mitchell Dormady just sent me a picture. That's Drew Dormady's son, by the way, Mark.
Okay.
And oh yeah, that's boy. Look at that. Look at that. That's a nice home crowd there. Now that's what I'm talking about. Mitchell Dormady, thank you for that, brother. Appreciate that a lot. Mark, and I'll send this picture to you, Mark. It's a great photo from the end zone of Tiff County's home side. And I'll promise you, this is the largest home attendance that probably that school has enjoyed in a number of years.
Well, you start winning, the enthusiasm picks up. It will bring people out, right? And
It
that's
really
when you
will.
love it.
Mark, Stephen Tate, yeah, and Adam Hips is just confirmed, said it was about 90% full.
That's a great drive for
Um,
Tiff County. Well,
it,
hopefully, I'll make that drive up the Freedom Field there in Warner Robins.
there you go. There you go. Mark, Stephen Tate, now and again, here's the team we don't talk a lot about, Richmond Hill. Coach Matt Lazada is a great guy. We do the Gator Bowl takeover every year. I don't know how many of you know about this, but and Mark has spearheaded this event for the last few years. And Mark works with the Gator Bowl committee. And Mark, I think you actually were a member of the Gator Bowl committee, are you not?
Yeah, yeah, I'm on the part of the Gator Bowl committee here in
Okay.
Jacksonville. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mark put this campaign together in tandem with the committee where ITG Next, we invite and we play host to 500 kids, student athletes, along with their coaches, where we get them in free. They don't have to pay anything. We provide the ticket, we feed them, and all the school has to do is get them there. That's to the Gator Bowl. Mark, how long have we been doing this?
Gosh, at least 6 years. I mean, before
Yep.
COVID.
Yeah. And
And
so,
in fact,
yeah,
Phil,
go
the
ahead.
first one we did, we had like 16, 1,700 kids come. We were
Is that right?
overwhelmed. Yeah, we had 16,
Wow.
1,700 kids. Now they said, well, we got to limit that to 500.
Yeah. So we do that with 500 kids again, and it's great. Some of these kids have never been to a big NFL stadium. The Gator Bowl has turned out to be a pretty good game. Anyway, I say all that to say that Matt Lazada, head coach at Richmond Hill, Mark, they bring just about their whole team every year, and you got to love that.
Yeah, they look forward to it, as do, several of the programs who are regulars that have come, every year, really.
Yeah,
And it says something about them to take time. This is over the holiday period. So,
right.
they take a day or so out of their holiday to bring the kids down. And, it's a fun time for everybody.
Really is. I thought I'd point that out again with Matt Lazada and Richmond Hill. Man, they always are so well represented. I like Matt Lazada. He's a good guy. I think he's doing a great job. Again, they're so isolated over there, Mark, in Bryan County. Very little media coverage. You're not that close to Savannah to where you get a lot of the coverage from there. So they're just kind of out there in no man's land. They just moved into a brand new school. It's a fast growing area. And again, I say all that to say, Mark, I think Richmond Hill is going to give teams a run for their money before it's all said and done.
Well, they're certainly flying under the radar. I don't think,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
know a lot about Richmond. As we don't know a lot about a lot of teams. Got to let a couple more games play out. I know and it's the same thing in college and pro. Who would have thought Florida would have lost to South Florida? So things happen.
Exactly. But Stephen Tate was wanting to know, had anybody scored on Richmond Hill yet? Because I know they came out, they blanked Glen Academy, and they shut out. Gosh, I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it the Everglades? And another team they pitched. So I don't know, Stephen. We need to check on that. Richmond Hill, has Richmond Hill allowed a point to anyone this year yet?
That's a good question. And one thing I do want to mention, Phil, before of course, we still got about a half hour here, but how
Yeah.
about Usmani Kroma scored his first touchdown for FSU? Now, as a Georgia fan, I sure hated to see him flip the FSU, but good for him. Had an opportunity. I met him several times, interviewed him and his family. Such a good kid. I think big things are in store. He's a winner. I think he's going to do a lot at Florida State for the next several years. I'm going to say 3, and then he'll be in the NFL because he's that kind of player. He's also that kind of person. I, I couldn't see him veering off the track. I think he'll do the things he's supposed to do and be very successful. I mean, just everything he did at Lee County, I think he's going to do that at the collegiate level, and I think he'll go on and do it at the professional level. But it was nice to see him score his first touchdown.
I got you. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, like you said, Mark, that's going to be the first of many touchdowns we'll see
That will be the
from
first of
Usmani
many, and I
Cremon.
think Weston Bryant scored his first. So Lee County's put some guys out there. But listen, anybody out there, I mean, have you seen any players from your favorite high school making an impact at the collegiate level as a freshman this year? Who should we be looking out for on Saturday? It's always nice to see some of these kids have an impact.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Talking about some of the big games. Let's talk about some of the big games coming up. Well, I tell you who's not going to be a big game. Grayson is finally going to get a cream puff. I shouldn't say that. They're going to get an easier game as they'll take on Grovetown this
Uh-oh.
weekend. You've got Buford and Douglas County. Now, Douglas County has yet to play up to their potential. Douglas County came out of the gate, Mark, with the two best receivers on any one team in the state, bar none. I believe it was Devin Carter and Aaron Gregory are the two wide receivers. And again, very few. Both of them have been on the field very few minutes this year. I talked to Johnny White, the head coach of Douglas County, on Saturday. He said that Aaron Gregory has been hampered by a hamstring injury. The quarterback, Michael Johnston, the transfer from Dutchtown, he's been hampered by an injury. And so Devin Carter, the other wide receiver, has also been hampered by injuries. So injuries have plagued some of the best skill position players for Douglas County. Therefore, they have not been able to get that unit on the field together. Therefore, they have not played up to their potential, which I thought they were going to be, much better than what they've shown. Now, Coach White told me that he hopes to get all those guys back healthy this weekend. If that's the case, could be closer. Now, I didn't say upset because I think Buford, as we talked about the other night, I think this could be Buford's year. I really do. They've got such a talented team. We're going to have to wait and see. But Buford is going to be taking on Douglas County at home. Going to host the Douglas County Tigers Friday night, Mark.
That'll be a big game. That'll be a good test for both sides. Again, I don't think we really know how good Douglas County is. We do know that Buford is good. They have good athletes. I see Buford winning that game. Anything could happen, but I believe they're at Buford. It's a home game for them.
Yeah,
They know now with every game, there's always people are always looking at Buford. I mean, first class folks up there. They do everything the right way, and certainly take care of our media people when we go up there. But
they
I think
really
it's
do.
tough. It's tough to go into Buford and win. Look, no matter what team. Also, Buford has beaten a good Milton team this year. So, I think they're getting tested, battle tested, and Friday night will be a good challenge for them.
I want to talk about Class 7A as a whole. And I've talked to a couple of people about this, Mark. So in Class 7A, all right, you've got the usual suspects. You've got the aforementioned Buford Wolves. You've got Grayson. You've got Carrollton, Mark. You've got North Gwinnett. But I got to tell you, right, it stops right there. Okay, let me tell you what I mean by that. So in years past, we've had, of course, Norcross, Mill Creek, North Gwinnett, Walton. And I could be missing, but we don't. None of those teams, what I call blue blood programs, have played. They haven't played very well this year, and they're certainly just a shell of their former selves. And I'm talking about the Mill Creek, who were winning state championships or competing for state championships. Norcross, who's competing for state championships. Walton, who played for a state title a couple of years ago. Did I say Mill Creek already? North Cobb, throw them in the mix. So none of those teams, Mark, that I just mentioned, past powerhouses, are anything but that this year. They're 2-2, 3-2, 2-3. So my point is, what has happened to Class 7A? And Mark, if you'll notice, most of those teams I just mentioned were Metro Atlanta teams. So all the talk about, well, South Georgia will not be able to compete against the North Georgia Metro schools. Well, this year might just change that, Mark, because again, a lot of those so-called blue bloods from the Atlanta area, the Metro Atlanta area, that have always been, a hindrance to Southern Georgia teams trying to advance deep in the playoffs. Mark, that could change this year. And all you got to do, guys, is look at the teams I just talked about. Because, ranking the top 10 in Class 6A, Grayson, Buford, Carrollton, Douglas County, again, they were supposed to be a top 5 team. They're not playing that well. I've got North Gwinnett. They are playing better. Lowndes, Valdosta, McEachern, Colquitt. But, after that, it gets tough trying to decide who's worthy of a number 10 spot or a top 10 spot. Love to hear your thoughts on that, guys, as well as you, Mark.
Yeah. So Phil, I think you said 7A. So
Well,
Joe
I meant
Barron came in
6A.
and said
Yeah, so
6A.
old habits hard to
We
buy.
knew
Yeah,
that.
6A.
And Phil, before I answer that, Stephen K. Wynn mentioned Cromall, Weston Bryant, and Jerron Willis, linebacker of South Carolina, all got their first TDs on Saturday. So those guys are doing big things. And Kenneth Hurst, Cy Wilson from Thomasville scored a 90-yard TD kick return for Point University. That's always great to see those incoming freshmen do big things. Phil, to answer your question, I mean, it's just my opinion. I think talent moves around. In Atlanta, I just think the schools you mentioned right now just are not, they're not getting the talent for whatever reason. There's, um, maybe and players do move around up in Atlanta. Look, GHS is doing everything that they can to level that playing field. But look,
Right.
kids are going to move.
Yep.
That said, I think everybody that you mentioned in thinking about when they, when they were making a run. And like when you think of Mill Creek, how can you not think of Caleb Downs? You think of
Yep.
Collins Hill, you think of Travis Hunter. There's always some big time athletes. You got to have them. Just like Grayson is loaded up with them. And even the teams in South Georgia have some good athletes. I think that, the talent's there right now. Phil's got to be the answer.
The what, Mark? I can't hear you.
I just think the talent is just not as deep, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, these last few years in Atlanta. And, it cycles.
Yeah. It's, again, guy, it's just it's fascinating if you think about it. And I'm going to write a story on this. I'm going to do a little bit of research on it. But again, all of these so-called blue bloods, it used to be where you had to really work to try to find and establish who the top 10 teams were in class 6A. And you're right. I did apologize. I still got 7A on my mind, but you guys know what I'm talking about, the largest classification in the state. But again, I can tell you, I handle our top 10 rankings each week. And you, guys, I want y'all to, stand in my shoes for just a second. So Grayson, yep, I don't think there's any argument they're number one. Buford, certainly, maybe an argument for number one, but Grayson Buford, right now, Mark, I think there's no doubt those are the two top teams in the class in 6A. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. One and two.
Yep.
I know we have a win. ST says Buford is on top of their recruiting. Listen, when I refer to players moving around, look, Buford is not recruiting. Most coaches are not
Right. Right.
recruiting players.
Right.
When I
Right.
refer to that, it's yes. Now, if you think of, hey, if I've got a son who's a great athlete, I
Yep.
may want to send him somewhere else other than where he is. And
That's
of
right.
course, I'll look at facilities, classification. Are they getting national media? Do they get national attention? And that's what a lot of people are doing. If you have a high profile athlete, the family will move somewhere to put him in a good situation.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to transfer to Buford than it is other schools, just for the fact there's no apartments in Buford. You
Right.
just can't
That's
go
right.
there. There's
That's
no
right.
question Brian Applin or, the people at Buford are not out recruiting. Now, they don't need to. If there's a kid that maybe is thinking about moving, of course, Buford would be on their radar for all the reasons that I just said. But there's other programs that have equally, nice facilities
Yep.
and various. Well, you take Milton for example. I don't think Coach Reeves is out recruiting, but he's had people move in. Why?
Sure.
Milton's been
Right.
nationally recognized the last couple of years. They
Right.
do a great
Right.
job there. They run their program like a college program, as does Buford. I mean, there's a
Yep.
lot that goes into it, but
Yes.
it's it's parents and it's players wanting to move to a different area. And look, I think these parents and players will go and visit and take a look at Grayson. Look, their facilities are not anything compared, and I don't mean that as a knock on Grayson, but we have facilities in South Georgia much better than Grayson. A lot of facilities in North Georgia.
Right.
Again, I think Grayson is establishing themselves as a winner. Coach Bryant does a great job running that program, and kids want to go there. And I
Yep.
think it's really a function of, okay, can I put my kid in what I think is the best position to get national attention, to be on a winning team, and also to be a part of a team that is
Yep.
running like a college team so that when he
Right.
gets to the big time, he's not in shock, if you will. And so I get that. And I think everybody approaches it different. Some people will go, hey, I'm not going to make that sacrifice and move. Whereas other families will say, yes, we will make the sacrifice because we had this opportunity that we want to give our child the best, put him in the best position he can to succeed. And so there are
Yeah.
clearly some programs that are run more like college programs than others. There's college, I mean, just by
Yeah.
tax basis that have more resources, also by community support, fan support. So a lot goes into that. So I don't necessarily, I'm not referring to a team recruiting. I'm referring to, hey, what if you got a couple of guys that are great players and they're friends with each other? And they go, well, hey, old Phil over there is coaching XYZ team. They're winning. They're getting a lot of national attention. Let's go talk to Phil. And you know what? I think we'll move over to that area and let's both play for Phil these next couple of years. That's what's
Yeah.
going on.
Brian Bird says, I'm so late, but Fitzgerald is in the building. Way to get here, Brian. Better late than never, buddy. So, so Mark's an interesting conversation there from that was a great take, by the way, Mark. And I agree with you 100%. Mark, I have heard that about Buford forever. Well, they're recruiting. They're recruiting. No, they're not. And Mark just gave you the reasons why they don't have to. And it's not just Buford. I'm just using an example, but like Mark just described, guys, these schools have become so popular and known nationally that kids want to come. I say kids, players want to come to these schools. These schools don't have to reach out, guys. I talked to Ben Reeves after they had two kids come from Milwaukee. You had the Al Britton. I'm sorry, you had two kids come from out of state. You had the Al Britton young man came from Milwaukee. Then you had Derek Baker come from Fort Lauderdale, St. Thomas Aquinas, Mark. And I can remember Ben Reeves telling me, I haven't met him yet. And he's not lying to me. Yeah, I feel I haven't even met him yet. I hadn't talked to him. Yeah, they come and enrolled. I'll know when they enroll in our school. These coaches are not going to uh, they're not going to risk a year eligibility, a possible state championship, games being forfeited by trying to mess with one player. That's just not going to happen. It's not happening. And as Mark just described to you guys, there's a reason. It's not recruiting. It's just the opposite. It's these kids wanting to come to these programs. What do y'all think? Tyler Atkinson going on Pat McAfee's show a couple of weeks ago. What do y'all think that did for that Grayson program? That's a national program he went on, Mark and guys. Mark, you want to
Yeah.
touch
Yeah.
on
Well,
that?
I mean, and that's the world we live in today. I mean, that's the kind of attention that the athletes are getting, and a lot of these high school programs are getting. And to go a little bit further, what you were saying, Phil, I don't think a successful coach is going to risk his entire career to go
Right,
recruit a player because that's
right.
what
I
they
don't
do.
either. Yeah,
Now, if you are a private school, and I would say, for example, like let's take modern day or St. John Bosco, they
yep,
get players from that greater LA area. I've talked about that before. They get
right.
kids moving from other states. And look, you can look at their team, it shows too. Um, so, yeah, do I think there's potentially recruiting there? There's certainly welcoming people. But if you're in a public school, you're risking a lot if you're going out recruiting players. And again, the bigger schools don't have. Look, and I point to um, you look at Thomas County Central. They're about to have their new indoor ready. Their facilities will be as nice as any teams in the state, and they're
Yes,
winning. They won a state championship a
yep,
couple of years ago. They're doing well this year.
yep.
Uh, if I'm in Tallahassee, Florida, would I want my kid to go there, or would I want him?
Probably not.
Yeah, yeah, to stay
Yeah,
somewhere, yeah, in Tallahassee, or would I want to go to Thomas County Central? Well, you know, I just think that's the world we live in today.
yeah. Yeah, but Mark, and we'll close with this and we'll move on. But the Buford thing, I've been saying that for years that they don't need to recruit. Number one, their image, speaks for itself. Their reputation speaks for itself. Their quality, high quality people. Mark and I've got to know them up there, and also, not to mention, guys, you've got a talent pool from which to choose from of
in Gwinnett County.
millions. Right. Remember, Buford pulls from Gwinnett, Hall, and there's another county. Is it Forsyth? Or I don't know. But anyway,
Right,
my point being that Buford does not have to go out and find kids. The kids find Buford. So that being said, we'll move on. But again, and to kind of put a bow tie on this, so it's just interesting. I think in 6A, all of these teams, these programs, and I was talking earlier about ranking the top 10 teams. Okay, I've got Grayson and Buford at the top, but you guys help me out. Okay, this past weekend, I'm ranking the top 10 teams in 6A. Grayson, Buford, Douglas County was at number 3. They lost and they looked bad losing. So obviously, remember, Hughes is 5A. Okay. So Grayson, Buford, Carrollton, I think is a shoe in. North Gwinnett is a shoe in. But guys, after that, who else are gimmies in 6A? I'm not talking about pretty good. I'm talking about absolute bona fide top 10 teams. Who would they be? Now, I came up with Lowndes, Valdosta, McEachern, Colquitt. But, my previous number 10 team, Norcross, lost to Walton. Well, Walton has not looked good that year. I mean, this year they're 2-2. Mill Creek has not looked good. North Cobb has not looked that good. So you see kind of where I'm going here? This is not cut and dry like it used to be at all. All of those blue blood, those aforementioned programs that were winning state titles. Mark just mentioned Collins Hill. Look, I love Drew Swick. He's done a great thing. But remember, he said they've had to rebuild after Lenny Gregory left, and Drew Swick has done a good job as anybody. But they come out the first of this year, Mark, and they got whipped by Grayson. That really, I thought, set them back a lot, Mark.
yeah, that was a tough. They had a tough night, but again, we talked about it. Grayson's a really good football team. But you know what? Once the playoff starts, you only got to beat somebody one time. It's a one
Yeah.
game deal. And to be honest with you, I think you mentioned Grayson, Buford at the top, and everybody else. But don't think that given the right circumstances and a home field advantage, that some of these other teams wouldn't be able to beat them. They will have to be. They will have to play. You have to win a state championship in Georgia. You got to play your best every time.
Yeah.
Certainly in the playoffs,
Absolutely.
because it only takes one off game. That's it.
That's right. That's right. But Mark, what I just talked about should give solace and hope to a lot of the South Georgia teams and their fans who, again, have been saying for the last few years, well, gosh, we don't have any chance here in South Georgia because all the North Georgia teams, the Metro Atlanta teams are winning and building their program. Guys, I just laid out a pretty lengthy example, and I think it makes a lot of sense. I just laid out a pretty lengthy example why I don't think that's the case anymore. I
Well,
think the Mark real quick. I think the playing field has really leveled up, Mark, in a quick amount of time.
here's the key, and this is why that number one seed, Region 1 6A, is so important because you need to win the coin flip. You do
Yeah,
not want to have to go to Grayson or Buford. You want them to come to you.
right, right. It's a good point.
So,
Yep, good point. Mark, about 5 minutes left to go in the show. We'll end with a flurry here, talking about some of the games, of course, coming up this weekend. We talked about Buford, Douglas County. I think we agree Buford should have that one. Again, one of the games to watch this weekend is going to be Carrollton going to Gainesville. Gainesville really. put it to, or Carrollton really put it to Gainesville last year, Mark. So you mentioned it earlier. And by the way, look at Mark's shirt, guys, says it all.
Yeah,
Gainesville is looking for revenge Friday night.
yeah. Got my red elephant shirt on here. I actually didn't do that on purpose either. I just happened to have it on. So anyway, chasing Beth.
Mark, yeah, Mark, let me get your take on this one. And we hadn't talked about this. Mark, Lowndes may have the toughest matchup of the season to date as they take on Kell, the Longhorns of Kell High School Friday night. What are your thoughts on that game? And I want to get everybody's else, your take on it, guys, in the few minutes we have left.
Well, Phil, I think the key there is Cal's got to come to the Concrete Palace.
There you
So
go. Yep.
I think I think Lowndes is tough to deal with at the Concrete Palace. I mean, they do have some players. That home field is big. I think that'll be a tough ride for Cal, and they're above Atlanta. They're up in Cobb County, so that's gosh, you riding on a bus. That's 4 hours, I'm sure. So long trip. Uh, I think Lowndes will be. It'll be difficult for Cal to beat them.
Jonathan James Gibson says any team can go out on any given night. He said life, but I knew what he was talking about.
Yep.
All right. Valdosta, Mark, going to be hosting South Gwinnett, the Comets.
Same thing. You got to go on the road. I mean, I'm just saying it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a
Cal
long bus trip.
on Simo Villalobos. Cal lost to Sequoia 37-6. Okay, that
Ouch.
tells you all you need to know. That tells you all you need to know.
Bobby May's team, the Longhorns, took it on the chin. Remember, Sequoia, pretty good, though. Sequoia, they're the team last year that knocked out Gainesville in the opening round of the playoffs. So they're a little better than we think. Let's see here.
Phil, you picking Cal?
What's that?
You picking Cal?
No, not at all. No, not at all. All right, we talked about Colquitt County, Lee County. This is
Great
one of my
game.
pick six games. Great game indeed. I think it's a coin toss, Mark.
I agree. I think that game's a coin toss. I do think because Cochran Law got beat in Marquette, I know Sean Calhoun will have those boys ready to play. Plus, there's some South Georgia bragging rights on the line. I agree. I think it's a coin flip, but yeah, it could go either way.
All right, guys, we have again Milton, Blessed Trinity, Milton 2-1, Blessed Trinity 3-0. Remember, Blessed Trinity is the team that I picked. Has got the toughest schedule in the state of Georgia this year, and this is why. You're taking on the Savannah Christians of Georgia. You're taking on Milton, so things don't get any easier. But that's going to be a game. And guys, after this weekend, Mark, we'll end with this. I'll give you the final word. We're going to start region play after this weekend.
Things will get real fun then.
Yes, they will.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what we waited for, right?
Liven up. I don't know. Phil, you may be solo at some point here because I don't know how long I can not be in a game on Friday night.
I got you. We'll certainly hold it down. But, Mark, you want to take us out?
Well, hey, enjoy it. Thanks everybody for listening in today, and curious to see how Phil's pick six come out. We'll be talking about that Friday as we see the scores come in. So, hey, Phil, enjoyed the show today. Thank you everyone for